Okay, so today we are going to learn about constructor call. Okay, constructor call. So do you know what exactly constructor is? Anyone? If you are familiar with any other programming language, you might know about that. No? Okay, no problem. Here we will see what exactly the constructor call is. So right now I'm going to create one object. Okay, so here you can see to create any object, what we have to do. Tell me. Simply we need to first to declare a variable. In that we have to store one object. This is the first way. By using this object literal, we can create an object. Any other way we have that we can create an object?
From new keyword we can create.
Yeah, new and then object, isn't it? Yeah, so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply write name colon Steve. Okay, and here I'm going to write role as developer. Okay, if I'll print this one, console.log, see this got created. No, another way is here directly we can create var obj1 is equal to new. Okay, new object object. Okay, so here it is going to create what? An empty object. And here I can do this. One sec. What I can do is simply I'll copy this one. And we'll paste it here. Okay. So here you can see we have an empty object. Okay. So that you can do here. Okay. Two ways are there. One more way is there that we can use. So here we are using object literal. Okay, we are using object literal to create an object, and here we are using what? Constructor call to create an object. So how actually this is being created here as an object, so that we are going to see. So first of all, we will see that here, let's say I'm going to create one function. Okay, and here I'm going to write a demo. Normal function I'll create. Okay, demo, and I'm going to return simply one object. Okay, simply one object. So this is nothing but factory function. Normally if you are using like this is a kind of factory function. So where right now I'm going to write obj, and in it I'm going to call what? Demo. If I'll call this, it is going to return what? One new object. And if you will try to print this one here, console.log, okay, obj, you are getting again one object. But here this is a normal function. Okay, this is a normal function. What if you have to add some property in it? Directly you can write here. Okay, so I don't want like that. I don't want like that as we are using right now. So simply what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one function. Okay, demo. Simply I'm going to create this function demo, and here I will write console dot log. Okay, hi. Okay, where obj is equal to, if I'll call demo here like this, demo, what will be the output here? If I'll print here console.log obj, tell me. What will be the output? Anyone can tell me?
Hi.
Okay, hi. Anything else? Undefined and undefined. Here we have undefined. So this is the first thing. And another one here we have, that is, it is not returning right now because I'm not using any other console. If I'll use the same thing here, you will get two times, undefined and undefined. So one is the return type here. So when I'm calling this, it is returning what? Undefined, and that is being stored here inside obj. And once if you will call here at that time, it is just printing hi. Okay, so that is happening actually. So if you are writing like this, let's say new object. Okay, so instead of that, if you are going to call simply object, what will happen? Are you able to see what is happening? Hmm? Again, it is creating what? An empty object without using what? Without using new keyword. Okay, so you can use directly this object function, and as you can see here in prototype, we will learn what exactly is that. So in prototype, if you will see here, there is nothing right now. You can see here that is object. So this is derived from, this object is derived from object itself. This is a constructor function. That's why you are able to get that object. Okay, no need to use new keyword if you are using directly object. But in case if you have, let's say, another constructor function and you want to create new object by using that, so then what you have to do? So simply what you need to write is, simply you have to write a normal function. Okay, and here you have to uh, write like this: my details. This is not a JavaScript concept, okay, or features. This is a one way of implementation that you can do by using this constructor function. And I'm writing here M as capital. Generally what we do follow like this camel case notation, but whenever you are going to create a constructor function, you always need to mention like this: the name should follow this. Okay, first letter should start with the capital case. Now here inside this function, I'm going to just print here console dot log. Okay, console dot log. I'm writing here where obj is equal to, and I'm going to call like that on my details. Normally I'm going to call here my details, and here we will try to print what? This. Okay, So no need to use right now this one. So if you will call, it is going to point to the what? It is going to point to the window. But if you will use new in front of this, and now if you will try to print this obj, let's see what will happen. What you are getting right now here, this is pointing to the this function only. Okay, and here when you are trying to print obj, okay, then also it is pointing to the this function only, but in the form of what? Object. It means this my detail function is not doing anything. This is not a constructor. The magic is happening here because of new keyword. So here we will learn about the new keyword, what exactly it is doing internally. So in JavaScript, new actually internally perform four things. Okay, four things that we are going to learn about. So always remember these things. So I'm going to write down here what exactly new does whenever you use new before any function. What it is going to do, see here, it will do the first thing as that it creates, okay, a new empty object. First thing, I'll show you visually like how it is working. First thing it is going to do, what? It creates a new empty object. Okay, that's fine. Second thing it is going to do is, and this is very important, okay, a newly created object. Okay, a newly created object gets linked to another object. Okay, we will see this one, what is happening actually here. So this is very important. Third thing is what it is going to do. Third one is newly created object gets, why I'm writing, because you can also note down these four things, what exactly new keyword does whenever you are going to use this one before any function name. Normally this function will work the same like the normal function, but if you are using like a constructor call, like if you will use new keyword before that function name, then what is going to happen internally, that I'm going to show you here. So newly created object gets passed, okay, in as a this is a keyword, okay, that's why I'm writing in double quote, this context, okay, this context through the function call. Okay, Now the fourth one is if the function, okay, if the function doesn't already return its own object, okay, then new, here new is a keyword, okay, new keyword assumes you meant okay, you meant to return that object. So automatically internally it is going to return, okay, that object was being passed from the function. That we are going to see what exactly is happening here. Okay, so the first thing, okay, the first thing, it is going to create one empty object, okay, whenever you are using. So here what is happening, we will see. I'm going to comment this one right now. Whenever you are using new keyword, what is happening? First thing, it is going to create one empty object. Okay, first thing is done. Fine. Next thing is a newly created object gets linked to another object. So what is that object then? Okay, that we will see when we will start about the prototype. Okay, so right now I'm not going to explain second point. That is important one, but I will show you visually where it will be. Third thing, newly created object gets passed in as this context, okay, through the function call. So when you will call this, no, when you will call this here, so this is nothing but right now it is going to point to the this empty object. So as per the third rule here, first rule is nothing but it is going to create an empty object. Second one I have not explained. As per the third, once if you will call this function, no, this constructor function, and this is known as constructor call. When you are using new keyword in front of any function call, that is known as constructor call. Okay, so once if you will call, then here this will be pointed to the object, that object which is being created by this new keyword. So this will point to this object. Now third is also done. Now fourth one is if you are not using return keyword, so internally what it is going to do, it will return, okay, it will return the object which you have created. Okay, it is going to return that object. So finally that object is being returned from here, and where you are storing inside object obj variable. So that's why here you have this my details. My details is not an object actually here. Sorry, that is an object here because I'm using here this pointer. It is returning actually. So if I'll remove this one, okay, and we'll save, no, here we have error because of these things. See, I'm getting this my details, because you are not returning anything, you do not have any body in it, but still it is creating that empty object. It is being linked to the another object. What is that object, we will see. And the third thing, when you will call, automatically this is going to pass to this constructor function, and that will be linked to the object which has been created. Okay. And last thing, if you have not used any return keyword explicitly, if you are not returning that object, then new keyword assumes that it has to return that object implicitly. So that's why it is returning finally. And that's why you are able to store that new object in obj. And when you are trying to print this obj, you are getting that new object. Okay. So this all thing is happening just because of new keyword. Okay. Now you will be able to understand what exactly the prototype is. Okay. I will show you like the third point. What exactly is that? Don't worry about that. So is that clear right now what new keyword actually does, everyone? Whenever you will use new keyword before any function call, first thing it is going to create an empty object. Okay. Then second thing, that empty object will be linked to the new object, and we will see what is that a special object. Third one, once if you will call that function, then in that particular execution context, this will point to that empty object only. And fourth one is it is going to return that object, newly created object. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now let's say if you have some argument to pass. Okay, so if you want to pass any argument, so for that here you have to write the parameters also, isn't it? So let's say here we have name, comma, role. Two things are there. Okay, isn't it? Now, so here I'm passing name as Steve and comma, role as developer. I'm going to save this one. You are getting a still empty object because whatever argument you are passing, that is being passed to that particular parameter, but you are not doing with anything with that particular parameter. Okay, fine. So now you have to use these two parameters value as a property value. So if you want to use any property here, so if I'm writing this, where it will point, tell me.
Object.
To that newly created object it is going to point. So this is nothing but that object. Then whatever property name you want to create in that object, you can create property name, isn't it? Let's say here I'm going to write user. Okay, user name. Okay, in username is equal to what I'm going to store, whatever value we are passing in name. Okay, another property here we have, again if you will write this, this means it is going to point that newly created object. Okay, because we do not have any name right now, no, isn't it? So I'm going to write dot, and then I'm going to write here designation is equal to role. So whatever value we have in role, I'm going to assign that. So now if you will see, username is equal to Steve, and here there is a typo, designation is developer. So it is actually creating that object with the property and value. So why I have used here the different property name, generally, like you will be able to easily understand what is happening here. Whatever property name you want to add, you can add that. But generally, if you have the name, so you create name property only. So this dot name is equal to name, this dot role is equal to role. So here you have name Steve, role developer. Like that also you can create. Okay. So this is nothing but the property of that newly created object. This is also the property of that newly created object. And at the runtime, when you are calling this function, this constructor function, when you are calling, you are passing two different arguments. Okay. So what is happening? First, it is going to create new object. Then once, if you will call this function, at that time, it is going to point this reference to that newly created object. So that's why once if you are passing these arguments value, it is being stored in the parameters, and those parameters value now you are able to store by using this reference. Means this means that object dot name means the newly created object here you have, in that you want to add the name property, and then you are storing that value, and finally you are returning these things as an object. Okay, so if you are writing here return, finally return, you don't know the name of that object, but you know what is this. Okay, what is this? So if you will write here this instead of returning, because it is already returning, you know that. So just we'll try to print what exactly this is here. See, it is printing that object only. It is printing that object only. I'm not going to print here this obj, but still you will be able to see here, because this is referencing to that particular object after updating these two values. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? What actually new keyword is doing here? Now you know. If you have any question, you can ask me. So this is all about the constructor call. And now you know, like in interview, if someone is going to ask what actually new keyword is, then you can say like new keyword is going to do 4 things whenever you will use before any constructor function. Okay, so this is all about constructor call. This function is not doing anything. This new keyword actually is doing everything internally. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We are also using this thing in class.
Yeah. That is different. I will show you like how to create any object by using class. Right now we are learning about just constructor, no?
Okay.
One by one we will come.
Okay.
If you will see here, no, our okay. So now new keyword is clear, and now you know how to create a new object by using constructor call. Isn't it? Anything else? Do you have any other question? No? Okay, fine. So now we are going to learn about, after this constructor call, now constructor is clear. We are going to learn about prototypes, what exactly the prototype is. And then I'll clear that second point, what exactly is there. This is very important concept. So in prototype only, we are going to see that prototype inheritance and everything. Okay. So for this prototype, first I'll give you a brief intro about the prototypes, why it is required. So objects are built by normally a constructor calls internally that you are not able to see. I'll show you. I'll inspect that each and everything and will show you. Second thing, a constructor makes actually an object linked to its own prototype. That also I'll show you. And as I said here, what exactly the prototype is, the term here they are using prototype, why it is there. See, if you are creating var, okay, not here. Here only I'm going to show you, where ARR is equal to, okay, one array is there, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7, like this. I'm saving this, fine. So if I'm using here array console.log, okay, console.log will print simply this array. I'm getting that array, isn't it? So when I'm writing array dot, okay, array dot, so as you know that array is also one object. Array is also one object. So here we have this one as an object. Okay. So in object, you can see here, we have this index 0, that is 1. On index 1, we have value 2. So if I'll write simply array dot 0, that is invalid. We know we cannot access like that. If I'll write array of 0, we will get what? 1. Okay, that is fine. But if I'm writing array dot join, it is there. Okay. So you can see here, it is working. This method is working. But if you will see in array, we do not have that property. We do not have this method. How this join is working, where actually it is, how you are able to access this join method, where it is defined. Okay. So it is not directly defined in this object. That clearly we can see here. In this one, we have just these many indexes. But if you will expand this prototype, no, in prototype, all those methods are defined. All those methods are defined here. See, join method is there, no? So that's why you are able to access. But you are not writing here array dot prototype and then concat or join. Directly you are able to access how it is working. So that is actually the concept of prototype chain, okay, or you can say the lookup. So if you write array dot, okay, here directly, array dot prototype, okay, dot, see, you are able to see, no, join, keys, last index, all those methods you are able to see, which are defined in the prototype, isn't it? So where it is defined in array.prototype, right now you are not able to understand anything. I think I'm assuming that only. But now I'm going to draw a diagram here. Then I think you will be able to understand what exactly the prototype is. Okay. I'm going to remove these things. We'll connect the pen tab. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay. So what will happen, you know, two things you need to understand first. Okay. Here we have, let's say before execution, I'm going to just draw one diagram here and assume that if I'm drawing a circle, this will be what? Function. And if I'm drawing a square or rectangle, that will be obj. Okay. So here you need to understand one thing. Every object, whatever you are creating, that is being derived from the object function. Okay, OCAP. Okay, object. So this is a function. Another thing here we have, that is one object. So there is no name for this special object. Okay, so but there is a relation. Okay, there is a relation between this function and object. So this relation is known as, from here to here, is known as what? You know, prototype. So this special object is nothing but what? Obj. Here you can see object dot, I'm saying dot prototype. So this object name is what? Prototype. Okay, and from here to here we have one link. Okay, here to here we have one link that is known as constructor. Okay, dot constructor, and here we have dot prototype. And the topmost, the parent function is nothing but, you can see here, object. So if you remember, when you were using new just before object, it was creating what? A new object. So that we will see, but for now you need to understand these things only. Okay, so here we have this one. So before executing your program, we have a thin layer over here. Okay, you are not creating this. This is available already in JavaScript engine. And this is before execution. Fine. This is before execution. So do you have any question here? Anyone? This is a normal function. This is a normal object. So what is inside object, that we will see. And this special object is known as prototype. So it is already there. It is already there. But what exactly the prototype is? So prototype is nothing but when we create any function. Okay, I'm saying any function, but there is a one exception, except arrow function. Okay, whenever we create any function except arrow function, one prototype object will be created. Okay, so let's say if you are going to create here, in our case, we will take that example only. In our case here we have what? Okay, this one I'm going to copy from here, then I'll be able to explain you this. Okay, I'll create this. 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm removing these things here right now. That is not required. Okay, now whenever as I said, whenever I'm creating a function, I'm not using this new keyword or anything. Right now I'm talking about this. Okay, this function, normal function. Whenever you are creating any function, right now I'm going to comment this one as well. As I said, whenever you are creating what? A normal function. Let's say here I'm creating a function demo. Okay, console.log. Hey, okay, and instead of demo, I'm writing ask. Okay, ask, and I'm calling this function. So you will get here what? Hey, you are getting that. I'm not calling. As I said, if I'm creating a normal function, so once if you will create any function, prototype object will be created for that function. So simply I'm going to show you that particular function here in window. So in window, if I'll expand, because this is the global object, in window, do we have any ask function? Now you can turn on your mic so we can communicate here. Do we have ask function here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. I'm going to open this one. So as I said, function is also a type of object, subtype of an object, isn't it? So that's why here we have inside this ask, we have many properties like ask.argument, ask.caller, ask.length, ask.name. So name is nothing but what? Right now, ask. It will return you the same thing. So here we have, this is a kind of an object, isn't it? For this ask function also, we do have many properties. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do we have a special property here called prototype?
Yes.
Okay. So this is nothing but whenever you are creating a function, okay, one prototype object will be created. So as you can see here, we have this one as an object. I'm not going into deep right now. We'll come to that point also. So this is also in form of what? Object. Prototype is also an object. That's why here we have one property value, isn't it? So what I said just now, whenever you are going to create any function in JavaScript, one prototype object will be also created, isn't it? So now we will see that. Now we will see that. What is our function name? Do you remember?
Ask.
Ask. Okay. So right now here, what I'm going to do, this is before execution, no? This is after execution, because we are not creating this object and this prototype, isn't it? If you are creating this object function, then one prototype will be created for that function also, isn't it? So this is already there in JavaScript engine. Right now, which function we are creating? Tell me.
Ask function we are creating.
We are creating ask function, isn't it? So with that, one object is being created, and what is that?
Prototype.
Okay, so here this is nothing but dot prototype. Okay, and for this object we have what? We have some properties also. Once if you will create any object, sorry, a function, one special object will be created that is known as what? Prototype. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you will create a function, a prototype will be created. So here we have, so inside prototype, what we have? Constructor we have. Okay, constructor. So if you want to access constructor, what? If you want to access what? Constructor. So can you write prototype dot constructor? Tell me, because this is a property of prototype. So if you want to access any object property, what you have to do? Object name dot property, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So where it is pointing?
Ask.
Again, ask function.
Function.
So it means if you will write this prototype dot what? Constructor, where it will point?
Again, it point to that function, ask function.
Ask function. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
So if you will write ask dot prototype, it will point to this object. If you will write prototype, means ask dot prototype dot constructor. Ask dot prototype means this object. And ask dot prototype dot constructor, again it will point itself only, isn't it? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the first thing. Right now everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Or you can say in other way, you can say this object will point, this object will point to that function only. Okay, by using that function it was constructed by. Okay, was constructed by. So that's why you can say it is going to point to that function only. In other way, if you are using dot constructor, that is clear, no? You can say that. So here you have ask as a function. Clear? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
And
Now we have just created one function, and whenever we will create a function, a special object will be created, is known as what? Prototype object. Okay, so what actually the prototype object is, what it is storing? It is storing some kind of reference here. Okay, so the one thing I'm going to show you here, if you will see here inside this prototype, inside this what? Inside this prototype, we have one property called this prototype, isn't it? Do we have or not?
yes, sir.
Okay, one more thing I'll show you. For this also we have prototype or not? So whatever function you are creating, no, whatever function, for that we will have one what? Prototype. So where it is? Tell me. We have a prototype here or not? Tell me. We have a prototype, no? So prototype is linked with what? Another function. So here we have one hidden what? Link. We have one hidden link that will be always connected with the its parent function object. So this is known as underscore what? Proto underscore. Okay, are you getting my point? So it means if I'm able to here see, if I'm able to am I able to access these things or not, we will see now. So this is the main object. Okay, if I'm writing simply ask dot prototype dot, okay, underscore proto, it will point to this object only, which is the prototype of what? This function. Okay, this function object. So we will try that, but always remember, whenever you have what? Internal hidden link that will point to the another prototype, you can see, that is the parent of this one, from wherever it is derived, because this is the object, and from object only this object is derived. So this is the main function, you can say this is the main object function. Now let's say if you are going to create one object, if you are going to create one object, so this one I have shown you just by using the what we say, like once if you'll declare a function, then these things will happen. Now what is going to happen, you know? Next thing, I'll show you. See, this is a normal function right now. Okay, that's fine. So instead of this, I'll make this one like this one, ask. Okay, and here I'm going to write name. Fine. And we'll write this dot name is equal to what? Name. This is clear, no? Why I'm writing here? Now I'm writing here where obj, where obj is equal to what? Tell me.
A new
New, and then
calling ask and passing
ask.
argument.
Here I need to pass argument which is expecting some value. Here I'll pass a Steve. Okay, so now I will show you. So this one we have seen already, isn't it? How to create a function. Whenever you will create a function, it is going to create one prototype also, isn't it?
Yes.
Now the new keyword functionality will start now. So that we will see, because now you want to create an object by using this. Are you getting what I'm trying to do here? Now, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to create one what? Here by using this ask. Here, because whenever you will use the constructor, no, the first letter should be in capital. For object also you can see is capital O, isn't it? So that is a just naming convention. Nothing will happen, even though if you will use a small a, that will create an object. There's no issue with that. So what I'm going to do is, as per the rule, when I'm using new ask Steve. Now tell me, Himanshu, if I'm using new keyword first, what it is going to do?
It create blank empty
It
object.
will create empty object. Okay, right now it is creating that. Fine. Next thing is it will point to the another object. Okay, it will point to the another object. So which object it will point to? That is the hidden link. It will point to the prototype of its constructor function. Okay, it is pointing or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, second thing is also done. Next one is like it will point when you will call this function. No, that this will be bind to which function?
Or that ask function.
Function or object?
Object.
So this is going to point here. If I'm writing this, okay. So what function we have, if you remember, ask. Here we have what? Name. And here we have this. So this means point to this object. And dot, what I'm saying, name. It means add a new property in this object. What is that? Name. So this is a property, isn't it?
Yes.
And then whatever value you are passing, that will be passed to this parameter. Assign that in name. So name is equal to what?
Steve.
Steve. Where it is stored? In this newly created object. And now it will return this object itself. Fourth thing. Okay. Second, now it is clear or not? Second was missing, like it will point to the another object, but which object? To its constructor prototype object. Okay. And this is nothing but underscore proto underscore. This hidden link is known as this one, underscore underscore proto, or in browser you will get like this, prototype. Okay, this is known as render prototype also. In interview they might ask you. Okay, is that clear? Now here it is going to return this object for thing itself, so you have to store it somewhere. So we have one variable called obj. Okay, and there you are going to store this object. In which form it will be? Like this, name Steve, isn't it? So it will be stored here in obj. So if you will try to print obj, what will be the output? This one. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I'm saying, let's say if I want to add a method in this object, right now I have added just one property, isn't it? If I want to add one method, uh, let's say here I'm going to add one method also, that this means to that particular object. Okay, dot greet. Okay, we can write like this, no, or not? We cannot write like this. I'm going to, it is equal to what? Function. Okay, this dot greet is equal to what? Function. And then here you have to write what? Console.log this dot name. Okay, so now if you will pass this, okay, and let's see what will be the object here, the newly created object. So here you have an object. One sec, I'm going to pass this one as a Steve. Okay, so now I'm going to show you here by using this console.log. I was not using right now, just to print that object. Here I'm going to print what? I'm going to just print that obj. Okay, so here we have name and greet, isn't it? So if you will call this obj dot simply greet like this, you will get that name, isn't it? Okay, so what we have declared here, greet. So where it will be defined now, you can see in this object only the new method is going to be added here. And what is that? Greet as a property name. Here I'm writing, okay, greet is a property name, and in that function will be stored, isn't it? Fine, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
But one problem is here. Whenever you will create a new object, whenever you will create a new object, there is a problem. Copy, paste, and copy, paste. Let's say here we have three objects you are going to create by using that constructor call. So here we have obj1, okay, and you are going to print obj1, not greet, okay. Here you have obj2. I'm writing simply obj2, and here I'm writing name as Smith. I'm writing here Dan, okay. Removing this one obj3, okay, 3. Now I'm going to save this one. So if you will observe here, with each and every function when I'm creating, one greet method is being added, isn't it? See here. Here also we have greet function. Here also we have greet function. And here also we have greet function. All those three methods are common. So there will be one performance impact. Let's say you are going to create thousands of object, thousands of users are there, and for all of them you are going to create new object, and in that you have to like replicate this one, okay. So those many number of copies will be created. So if you will go for the performance testing, so there will be a like a major impact on that, okay. So just to avoid that, never ever add any method directly to the constructor function, okay. Then where to add this, greet? So the best practice is then the best practice is we have ask function, no, okay. So simply I'm writing ask, okay, dot prototype. Ask is a constructor function dot prototype. So if you will see the diagram, here we have ask, okay, and dot prototype. Instead of adding here directly in ask function, where I'm adding to its prototype, okay, ask dot prototype. So here I'm adding, okay. And what is the function name? Then I'm going to write here dot okay greet, okay, and then I'm writing like this. Fine. I will save this one. First, I'm going to show you this one. So here you have seen directly it was inside the ask function object, okay, that object. I'm going to show you that. If I'm checking here inside object, we have directly this greet function, okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this one and we'll just try to add this one. Are you getting those methods, greets? No, you are not getting that. But if you will expand any of them, okay, in prototype, if you will go, so in prototype, we have that greet function, okay. In prototype it is, but directly you do not have that method in it. The same thing is with the array also. Whenever you are creating a new array, you are able to access those methods concat, join, slice, splice. Those are not directly defined in the array function. They are defined in the array function prototype. So the same thing is happening here right now. You can now relate that. So see what is happening. Instead of declaring here that greet method, now greet is being declared where ask dot prototype, okay, and here it is being added greet as a function. So whenever you want to access that method in any object, how you can access? If you write that object name and what is the second thing, underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, you will get the greet function here one way. Okay, so simply here we have greet. Okay, greet. Now what I'm going to do is simply, if you want to access that, let's say for obj1, wherever you want, obj1 dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, save this. So see, once if I'm trying to access this proto means that object, and in that object we have what? Now greet is being added. Okay, and constructor was there by default, which is pointing to ask, but now we have added greet also. So if you will try to call this one dot greet from here, you will get here undefined. Okay, and there is a genuine reason for that one, why you are getting that, because here we have this proto object. I'm going to remove this one for now. Now you are getting Steve, because you do not have to add that proto directly, it will inherit. That is the beauty of this JavaScript prototypal inheritance. So what is happening here, if it is not able to find here that greet method, when you are writing simply that obj1 dot greet, so it will find here first. Greet is defined here in this object, tell me.
No, sir.
So immediately it will go by using this. Like, why it is hidden line? Literally it is not going to use that proto, but as per the prototype chain rule, it will take one level up, it will go and there it will look up. Okay, so you can see here greet method is there or not.
Yes, sir.
So it will access that method from there and it will try to execute that function. Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
And because of that greet only, you are getting that value right now. So in case if it is not defined over there, it will go one level up again. Okay, and again if you will go up, do we have any object on top of this? Tell me.
No.
No. So one thing, tell me, if I'm writing obj1 dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, it will point to the prototype of which function? Ask. And if I'll write underscore underscore proto dot again underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, where it will point? It will point to the object or prototype of what? This object function. So that also we will try here only. Okay, so if I'm going to write here, let's say obj1 is there or not? It is there, no? If I'm writing obj1 dot and want to access the prototype of its constructor, so what we can do, simply we can write here, see, proto is there, no? It will return you the prototype of that one. You can see the constructor. This object is being created by this function only. What is that? Ask. Okay, one level up, if you will go dot again underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, you will get constructor of what?
Object.
So you are getting that object which is being created by what? This object function, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that clear? Now if you will go again one level up, what will happen? Tell me.
Undefined it's printed. Or
So if it is not able to find, you will get null.
okay.
Okay. because there is no more object on top of this that you can see here clearly, isn't it?
Yes.
So this hidden link, as I was saying, is pointing to what? To the prototype of that constructor what? Function. Okay. So if you are writing ask.prototype, it will point to this object. If you will write whatever object you have created by using the new keyword obj dot underscore underscore proto, then again also it will create what? That particular prototype only. If you will write simply this one, where obj, okay, here you have no obj1, obj1 dot constructor, okay, so it will point what? Ask. Okay, so I'm going to show you one thing here. Just now you will be able to see here as per this diagram. Now I have proved, you know, that how it is working. You have seen now, no? Now tell me, if I'm writing obj, we have no obj1, because we have obj1, obj2, obj3, isn't it? So obj1 dot underscore underscore proto, if I'll write, where it will point? It will point to this. It will point to this. Tell me where it will point. It will point to this function prototype, isn't it? By using that, it is being created. Now, if I'm writing obj1 dot proto, means it is pointing to here, and dot constructor, if I will write, what will happen? Dot constructor from here. Tell me, Himanshu. When I'm writing obj1 dot underscore underscore proto, means it is pointing to here. But again, if I'll write dot constructor, so it will point where?
Ask object.
Ask function,
Function.
not
Yeah.
object.
Yeah. Function.
Constructor, so it should point ask function. Okay, is it pointing to that function or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we reached here. Again, if we will write this constructor here, we reached. Again, if we will write dot prototype, where it will point?
That function prototype.
Again, it will come back here only.
Here. Yes.
It is returning the same thing or not? This one and this one. Okay, now we reached here. If I'll write dot, okay, underscore underscore proto, where it will point? Now
The main object, upper one.
upper one, here it will point, isn't it?
Yes.
Exactly, here you are. Now again, if I will write dot underscore underscore proto, where it will point?
It will give a null value.
Null value, because on top of this we do not have any
And
object.
object.
Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let's say if you want to break this linkage, what you have to do? Right now, if you will see here in obj1, we do not have that greet function, but if you will call obj1 dot greet, you are getting that name or not? You are getting, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I'm saying obj dot underscore underscore proto, okay, means where it is pointing? To this object. If I'm saying is equal to null, you know, means it is breaking that linkage. See, you are getting what? Type error. obj1 dot greet is not a function because it is not defined. But the same thing, if you will try with the obj2, it will work. It is working or not?
Yes.
So if you want to break this linkage, okay, this prototype chain, if you want to break, Just you need to use the null, okay, to break that prototype. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question? Means, are you not getting this, or is that clear?
It's clear, sir. It's clear.
Yeah. So this is all about prototype chain. If it's not there, it will look up. So this is just a structure. We have lot more to learn in prototype. Okay, lot more actually. Now we are going to see another thing here. What if I'm writing here? Tell me. You have to answer now if you understood. We have obj, no? We have obj1 dot greet. We are getting this. That is fine. Fine. Okay. So if I'm writing obj1, okay, tell me dot greet. Obj1 dot greet means directly we are able to access this object or not? Without using what? Without using underscore underscore proto, we are able to access what?
Great.
This greet, isn't it?
Yes.
So it means we can access directly this one. So if we can access greet, we can access constructor also. So if I'm writing constructor directly, it will return what? This function.
Function. Ask.
That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me one thing. If I'm writing this one double equal to, okay, if I will write directly ask, okay, it will return true or false. I'm giving here just equal to. If I'm writing this ask, what will be the output? Both of them are same or different? Why you are thinking so much? See, object one dot constructor, where it is pointing to this,
Ask function. Ask function you're calling. Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So why you were thinking that much?
Actually, I am thinking about that reference address. Uh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, fine. Now tell me one thing. If I'm writing obj1, okay, dot underscore underscore proto double equal to obj2 dot underscore underscore proto, what will be the output?
Both are different. It written false. Both are different object.
No, no. See here, you have created obj1, no?
Okay, it is pointed to same. Mhm. Yes.
Let me do one thing. We have time right now. So what I'm going to do is, or it's better to do one thing. Okay, till here is everything is fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is simply okay. So this is before execution, this is after execution. Till there everything is okay.
Yes, sir.
We have what? Ask function. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So as I said, as we have this object, if you will create, there will be a hidden link called underscore underscore what?
Proto.
Proto underscore underscore. That is also known as what?
Dupeler. Something. Dupeler.
Prototype. Don't get confused in interview if they are asking what is dunder prototype. So you can say that is nothing but a hidden link, or you can say that is a kind of prototypal chain or inheritance. Okay. So what is that? That is nothing but dunder
Prototype.
prototype. Is that clear?
Yes.
So as I said here, first we have created one object. And what was that? Obj
One.
1. So here you have created new what? Ask something. Let's say here A, B, C. I'm writing, not writing everything here. It was obj1. Okay. So here inside this, what property will be stored? Name. Okay. Similarly, you have created obj what?
Two.
2. Similarly, you have created what? Obj 3. Okay. And what was the constructor function? The same or
Same. It is same.
same?
Ask.
So it will be linked to the prototype of its constructor function. This one also will be linked to the prototype of its constructor function. And this object will be also linked to the,
Prototype.
is that clear or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because you are creating all those three objects by using this ask constructor call only,
Yes.
isn't it? You do not have two different constructor function call, isn't it? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So all these objects are pointing to the same object prototype. Okay, prototype object, which is nothing but ask function. So tell me one thing, if someone is saying, so this one will be actually the hidden one, no? Hidden link. So you have to point this one like dot, dot, dot kind of thing. Okay. Okay. So I have written like this, like in solid line, just correct that. Okay. Whenever you are trying to explain to someone in interview or for your understanding purpose also. Okay. So here you need to understand one thing. So this is what? Again, underscore underscore proto. So if I'll say obj3 dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, where it will point? To this object, no?
Yes. Mm.
And this object is what? It is a prototype, isn't it?
Yes.
And prototype of what?
Ask.
Prototype of
Ask.
this function.
Ask function.
You will not have a prototype for any object. Always remember, in interview, if someone is asking, can we have a prototype of any object? No. Prototype itself is an object, isn't it? And that will be always for a function. Okay.
Okay.
So visually also you can see. Tell me one thing, if I'm writing obj3 dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, where it will point? It will point to an object. Now you have to see this prototype has been created by which function. Then you can see, okay, when I have created this ask function, then this prototype is being created. Okay, then only it's been created, no?
Yes, sir.
So what I said in the beginning, that whenever you are going to create a function, a prototype will be created. So it means if this function will not exist, this prototype will also
Not as it.
will not exist. Okay, so it means you have to check who is the creator of this prototype. Then you can see here, means constructor is nothing but what? What is the literally meaning of the constructor? So who has built it, isn't it? Are you getting my point? Constructor means what? Creator. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So it is pointing the arrow. You can see the constructor of this object. Who is the constructor?
Ask function.
Ask function. Okay. And prototype of this function is this. Okay. So
Object.
this is nothing but prototype object. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me one thing. obj1 underscore underscore proto underscore underscore double equal to obj2 underscore underscore proto underscore underscore is same or different?
It's same. It point to that before executive object.
This object only, no?
Yes, yes.
So it is pointing to same object,
Same object.
means it will return true.
True.
Now tell me, if I'm saying visually see here and then answer. Let's say if I'm saying obj1 dot constructor dot prototype. What I'm saying?
Dot.
obj1 dot constructor dot prototype. Tell me where it will point first, then I'll ask. What I'm saying, obj1 dot constructor.
Constructor means it's point to that ask function, and after that.
Constructor means here we have a hidden link. It will check the constructor for this object. So I will show you here. We have obj, no?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Simply I'm going to show you here obj1.
There is a constructor.
Do we have any constructor for this one?
No.
No. So where it will go? One level up. So here it will come to the prototype. So in this prototype, do we have constructor?
Yes.
So it will go to that constructor, and where it is pointing?
Ask function.
Ask. So here we have till now obj1 dot constructor is nothing but ask, and ask dot prototype will be what?
Pointed to that object.
That object only. Okay. And now obj2. Now I'm going to write here. I think now you can answer. Now if I'm writing, see, double equal to, I have written here, okay, double equal to, I'm writing here obj2 dot underscore underscore proto underscore underscore. Tell me
It returned true.
why?
Because first one was pointed to that object, and second one
Object,
also
fine.
pointed to that object.
Okay, so now it is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Now in interview you can answer or not. Directly draw this diagram, you will never get confused by using this. So here you can say clearly, do we have any constructor for this object? No. Okay, so if it is not there, it will go here one level up by using this prototype chain. Okay, and it will check to the top level object. Okay, so that is the prototype of this object. Okay, so here it will check, and again in this object it will find a constructor. So this constructor is pointing to where? To its creator. Okay, who is the creator? Ask. Okay, again if you will come back dot prototype, it is pointing here only. So just you need to understand this flow. If you will remember this structure, you can answer anything. No one can get confuse you. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now tell me one thing. Uh, okay, fine. Now you know how to break a prototype chain.
object dot 3 dot hyphen hyphen prototype equal to null.
Yeah, means whenever you want to break any chain,
Provide null
okay,
value.
if you want to stop inheritance, just you need to do what? You need to either delete that property
Mhm.
or you have to set it as
Null.
null. Clear?
Yes.
So many questions they will ask you from the constructor function, constructor call, new keyword, prototype, prototype chain, prototypal inheritance. So now you got what exactly the prototypal inheritance is. Just now you have seen if a function is not available here, where it is checking in its prototype, okay, of the constructor function. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And it is always the best practice to declare any function which you are going to use, okay, in a generic way, not to keep directly inside the function. Where to keep that one?
In prototype.
In prototype of that function. Okay, that also clear,
Yes.
because you have to only declare it once, and whenever it is required you can inherit from here. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now okay, one more thing is there that I just wanted to explain you about that. So let me take that example here. Okay, now you know how to declare a method inside a prototype,
Yes.
isn't it? Okay, fine. So we'll go to that coding part again. Do you have any question? If you have, you can ask.
No, sir. Currently not.
So now here, if you will see, we know how to add a method in inside any constructor prototype, isn't it? Constructor function prototype that we have seen. I'm just going to do one thing just to show you how actually array functions and all are working here. Let's say if you have how you are able to access the array dot prototype, and prototype will be always for the function, not for the object. Always remember, by a structure, by seeing that a structure, no, you can easily understand. Always recall that diagram whatever I have designed. Okay, by using that you can easily answer. So if you are writing array dot prototype dot pop, okay, so here we have a function. I'm not going to write anything right now. Here I'm going to declare var arr is equal to, okay, is equal to what? Let's say 2569345. I've saved it, and now simply I'm going to show you here the console dot log array. Here we have that array. Tell me one thing, if I'm writing array dot pop, you are able to see, no?
Mhm.
So from where it is coming? You have not declared this function. It means it is available inside
Prototype.
prototype. So directly from here, you won't be able to access that. Okay. So array dot pop you are using, no?
Yeah.
If you will print this, you will get that this is a native code. Okay. Pop means it will just show you that one. Okay. You are getting this 45, isn't it?
Yeah.
The last value it is popping out. Okay, fine. Right now it is working. Whatever we have written as expected, it is working. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to change that method. Okay. And here I'm going to print that console.log. Now you can not delete any element. Okay, I've saved it. What you are getting now, you cannot delete any element from this array. What happened actually?
We are overwriting that.
Overriding that existing one, exactly. So if you want to add, like if you have a use case, like you have like many array data and you want to use some utility or polyfill, let's say. So what you can do, simply if you will add inside array.prototype whatever method you want. Okay. Let's say instead of pop, if I will use show. Okay, show. So whenever you are using pop, pop is defined, that's why it is showing you. Now see, in IntelliSense it will show you here. Let me try here. Show is there or not? Isn't it? So by using this prototype facility which JavaScript is providing, you can add your own method also as per your requirement, isn't it?
Yes.
If you want to play with this array directly, you cannot use like that. Okay. So in prototype, you have to add that method, the one which you want to apply on this. So like that only we have array dot for each and all, everything they have defined in this array prototype only. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So that's why you are able to use here.
That MDN site also refer that array dot prototype dot
Yeah. So
they are also
why they have written? Because these methods are defined inside prototype only.
prototype.
Now you know prototype, what exactly is that? Whenever we create array function, no, that prototype is being created. And in that object, so assume that array is a function and that is pointing to an object, and in that object we are defining that show, concat, everything. So if you will define any array or any object, it will be able to inherit that feature by using that what? Hidden link called underscore underscore proto underscore underscore, isn't it?
Yes,
So here also that is kind of a concept of what? Inheritance. Is that clear?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Yeah. So still we are not done with the, what we say, the prototype. I will show you a lot more things, like in real time how to what we say, like copy the prototype of any other object. Okay. And how it will work. So that we will see tomorrow.